Let me know when you can see me. Let me know when you can see me. If there's a lag.
¿Habla?
Hello?
Bueno, existe el lag.
Sí.
Pero si te quiero decir algo a ti, ¿cómo le hacemos?
¿No me estás escuchando?
Sí te escucho, pero está el lag.
No, tú escuchándome a mí hablar.
Por eso, pero no aquí. Si yo necesito escucharte aquí.
Pues aquí estoy.
Tiempo real, ¿verdad? No, pues me voy a quitar los audífonos.
Sí, ya nomás los mensajes van a estar mal. O sea, el chat. Chat's gonna be lagged, but I'm not.
¿Cómo?
The chat is gonna have a lag,
Uh-huh.
but you'll hear me in real time.
Uh-huh. Y para buscar cosas de que quieres ¿qué quieres que te ayude?
Sí, pues en buscar cosas.
Okay.
O si tengo una pregunta o algo, para no yo ponerme a buscar.
Okay. Pero luego, ¿cómo te lo enseño? Me tengo que sentar acá.
¿Me lo enseñas?
Sí, pues para enseñarte la pantalla.
Sorry, Pearl. Told you I was going live. The topic of discussion is technology for right now, and then we'll move on to hemp, not weed. I don't think I can do a weed on Twitch. A weed discussion. I'd probably get. I don't know. I didn't read their policies. I was too lazy. Happy 420, Pearl. Can you message real quick? Oh. Huh? Chat is at the same time? The Happy 420 popped up at the same time on our computers. It's just the video, my video that's lagged. Boo. Oh well. Well, happy 420 of 420, the year, month for it, 4 and year 20. It's the ultimate of 420 isms. What have you been up to, Pearl, personally? I know you've been couch surfing? No, that's something else. Couching. As in staying in your couch all day. Or pertaining, yeah. Only to your couch. I've been doing lots of fun stuff. Like, no moping. Moping sounds like mopping, and no one likes mopping. High thoughts. I've been doing fun stuff, like, changing auto insurances and paying bills. Forgot to pay my car this month. It was great. I thought I did it, but I guess not. I thought about doing it, so therefore I did it. We're gonna have a 420 special because it's 420 about hemp. Like I said, I don't think I can have a weed special on Twitch, especially not on YouTube, because this video is going to go on YouTube, and I definitely can't talk about weed on YouTube, so I will talk about hemp, which is a very distant cousin, or a very close cousin of the marijuana plant. So we'll be talking about hemp oil, aka CBD. There's also hemp seed oil. Oh, I guess we could put it on YouTube. I didn't think about that. Too late now. I did like an hour's worth of research on hemp and CBD oil. Blah, blah, blah. So I don't think a lot of people know the difference between weed or marijuana and hemp. I think a lot of people will see a hemp plant or think of a hemp plant and think that you can smoke it or treat it the same way as a marijuana plant. And they are not. They are different. The marijuana plant is where we primarily get our flowers, which is what we smoke. The hemp plant is more of the industrial crop. Like, we'll talk about it, but there's lots of stuff that you can do with hemp, not just smoke it. It has recently become like a phasm? No, it's a fade. A fad. Where people smoke hemp because it does give you some benefits. So, yeah. I didn't know that. Ooh. Kenna's in the back. Can you see her? She's right there. That's her head. Boop. Hemp was first, as we know, used 8,000 BC. So, a really, really long time ago, about 10,000 years. There's no documentation of them using hemp or how they used it, but what are they called? The people that excavate, archaeologists, found hemp fabric in one of their digs. So, and it was 8,000 BC old. It was first documented in China in 2800 BC as being like you know how they used it. They used it for medicinal purposes, the hemp seed, as well as a food. In the 1700s, so a little bit more recently, when was the 1700s? Like what happened in the 1700s here in the U.S.? Is that when we first colonized-ish? I'm very bad with decades. I'm like, oh, it was the 20s. I always say it's the 20s. 1920s. But no, that's not right. That's when we first colonized. Oh. Okay. Oh, the Battle of the French. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So the 1700s is the year that we started our whole revolution thing. Towards the end of it. In the beginning, it was when we fought the French. Yeah. Along with the Spanish. Okay, I remember that. History. Anyways, so when we were first going through our whole Battle of the Independence, early, maybe a little bit before that, the farmers were, yeah, I hated history too. But that one class was fun. What was I talking about? Oh yes, so when we were first going pre-revolution for the U.S., the farmers were legally required to grow hemp as a crop. So, what a difference to today's world. Washington and Jefferson, both presidents, were known to grow hemp, and the Declaration of Independence, the rough draft was actually written on hemp paper. So they were big users of hemp, and Jefferson was a big advocate for hemp in general, just on its uses and its purposes. In Ayurveda, which, is the all hail hemp. In Ayurveda, which is the Indian, what is it called? The Hindu medicine, or like healing of, what did it say? It said like sacred healing of or with something. I can't remember. Anyways, it's an ancient Hindu medicine. And hemp was considered one of the...
Mother of all healing?
Mother of all healing?
That's what it's called.
Oh, Ayurveda is called the mother of all healing. So yeah, it's very natural. Everything is healing through nature, through Mother Nature. Yeah, and it does come out of India, so it's Hindu based. And in Ayurveda, hemp was considered one of the 5 sacred plants. I don't know what the other 4 are. I didn't look it up. But hemp was considered one of them because it's just so versatile and there's so much you can do and it's fairly easy to grow. Looking up what the other 4 are. I've never heard of the sacred plants. It'd be interesting, like, what that even means or what they do or why. Let's see. Need to write this down so I don't forget. Is it 5 sacred grasses? Maybe?
Herbs.
It's herbs?
Yeah.
How do you spell what? Ayurveda? Is that
Ayurvedic herbs.
Huh. But that says 12. These are the 5 sacred ones. Ayurveda is spelled Ayurveda. Is that too fast? A-U. Yeah, thank you. Okay. In the last episode, we talked about how gold in Ayurveda is actually boiled in water, butter, and oil. And you kind of get the same benefits as you would a colloidal silver. I don't know if you know what colloidal silver is, Pearl, but it's like I would call it nature's ibuprofen. Like it's very powerful antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal. Hi. Thank you.
You can check it out.
Just okay. All right. Didn't we try some of the colloidal silver? Did you have some when you were here? I don't remember. If you did, then yeah, that's what that is. But there's also a colloidal gold, and the gold it's a little different. I think it's more for like inflammation type stuff. It's more like a metallic antioxidant. Anyways, in Ayurveda they use gold as well. I'm gonna start buying some gold jewelry. Hold on, I'm on the gold section. Ah! Okay. Ayurveda got me off track. So Henry Ford actually built a car made out of hemp. I didn't know that. It was a kind of an experiment, and it proved to be 5 times stronger than steel. So if we were all driving hemp cars, we would probably not get as damaged in wrecks. Just saying. There's also there's a guy who built a jet out of hemp, and the fuel was also hemp, which hemp can be used as a biofuel in many things, but his whole thing was that it was completely made of hemp, the jet itself and the fuel, and it was actually really, really fast. Like, it was a really effective, very fast jet. There's also a guy who's building fireproof homes made out of hemp, and he makes kind of like a cork out of the hemp, and he makes really simple homes out of it, and they will not catch on fire. For some reason, making the hemp, building it that way, just makes it fireproof. And obviously it's very, very strong as well, so it can't get knocked over easily. It's really interesting. And then in the 1970s is when the Controlled Substance Act first made hemp illegal. Yeah, hemp would put a lot of industries out of business. I think that's why it's like hard to bring back. Like once it went illegal, a lot of industries took over the many roles of hemp. And then they were like, well, let's not do that again. So I think they're trying to, because hemp is like, I mean, hemp has been used for so long. It's just recently, 50 years ago that it was like made illegal. Like it's only been illegal for 50 years. And it's just now, starting to come back in the last 30 years. People are starting to like reintroduce it into the farming industry, but even then people are not wanting to switch back to like natural products. I don't know what that's about. But people really like plastic and they really like one-time use things. So yeah, the consumer isn't helping either, because if we were like, no, we want hemp stuff. There is hemp stuff out there. It's just more expensive, which is silly. But
There's hemp plastic.
yeah, there is hemp plastic. You can make plastic out of hemp. Yeah. I'm just like, who would make that for you? Like, can you just go to a factory and like be like, hey, can I get some hemp plastic made? How do you find that kind of, I don't know. I actually brought some stuff with me that I'll be showing you. Can you see if this is made out of hemp? I think it is. I have some hemp products here today that I will show you later. I surprisingly had a pretty good amount of stuff that's made out of hemp. So yeah, in the 1970s, it was made illegal for stupid reasons. They were like, no, marijuana is a drug, and we don't understand it, so no one can have it. And then that's when they started importing hemp. So we couldn't grow hemp, but other countries could, and then send it to us for a probably more expensive price. And then 50 years after that was when grow licenses were allowed. So, so today, this year, is when grow licenses are now being allowed for farmers to grow hemp, which is good. I think if once people are allowed to grow it, maybe like it'd be cool if your local farmers market just had hemp and you were like, hell yeah. They could just give you the hemp fibers that the hemp itself, and then maybe like make you some cotton or something. I don't know how that would work, but it would be cool if like you had a local hemp farm. No. And hemp is also, it's more sustainable. Like, it's just better for the environment. If you have a choice between growing trees for paper products and growing hemp or bamboo, you should go with the hemp and the bamboo. Yeah, I think once a lot of people start opting for the hemp, that industry is just going to have to grow. And then more people will obviously choose hemp instead of other materials. But it's a whole process. And like licenses are just now being allowed to grow, so it's going to take a minute, unfortunately. Those people with the marijuana problems, the anti-marijuana people, ruined it for a lot of us. And then, so today there is a fight for legalization. There's a lot of states where weed is legal, marijuana itself. Obviously, California, Colorado, Washington. Here in Texas, we only have CBD, so no THC. And I'll get to the difference later. Each state has its own rules and regulations for CBD, obviously. I think here it's sold everywhere. You can get it at the grocery store. Like if you go to... I don't think I've seen it at Walmart, but and if you go to like Sprouts or something, they'll have some CBD chapstick or lotion on the way out, like, at your checkout person. They'll have some. Oh, it's state regulated. Yeah, so because it's state regulated, yeah, it's everywhere. You can find CBD everywhere, and actually, my farmer's market sells a CBD. Pretty sure it's legally made. So this is an example of something that you would find if you go to like a CBD store. This is just an oil, olive oil, and it's infused with CBD oil. So if you go to a CBD shop and you want something that's pretty versatile, you can put oil in almost anything. I have friends who put it under their tongue for medicinal reasons, and you can put this in smoothies. You could probably put it in like baked goods. I don't know how that would. Does it do okay if you reheat it, the CBD? Yeah. You can give it to your pets. Yeah. It really helps if you have a very neurotic dog that won't like stay still, or if your dog is prone to stress. If you're gonna take your dog in for a car ride and he's not particularly fond of car rides, or if you're flying with your pet and you need him to chill out for a few hours, CBD is a good option. I used to have CBD dog treats for my dog because he doesn't like car rides, and they used to sell them at the local like pet store. I think it was called Hollywood Feed. Yeah, it's called Hollywood Feed. And they discontinued it because they are a store that sells all over the country, and in some of their states, CBD wasn't allowed, so they couldn't like, they didn't want to only offer it in certain states. They wanted it to just be like in all of their stores kind of thing. I don't know. But they got weird about it. They discontinued the line. And so now I have to get tiny drops like this. But I do use other oils for tiny. There's other essential oils that you can use for your dogs. Not your cats. Cats do not do essential oils. They get sick. So help with that cat gum infection. Oh yeah, CBD is great for pain. It's an anti-inflammatory, so any sort of anti-neurotic, I think. Yeah. So it like doesn't allow inflammation or the sensation of pain to like exist in your body. It's just like no. Anyways, so yeah, you'll have to, like, I don't know where CBD is allowed, but each state has, I mean, it's allowed everywhere, but each state has their own regulation of it. So depending on where you are, CBD might be at your local grocery store. It might only be at a CBD store. You might have to have a prescription. It's different, just like weed is. In California, it used to be you need a prescription for it. Did they change that? I feel like now it's recreational as well.
2018 became recreational.
Okay, so right after I moved, it became recreational to where you didn't have to have a prescription to go to the dispensary, the local dispensary, and pick up some flour. If you've never been to a dispensary, by the way, those things are awesome. And if you're ever in California, you should check one out. It's like, I don't know, when I first went to the dispensary in Oakland, it's called Harborside, and it just felt like I was walking into a bank. It was so fancy, like it was really nice. It had a really nice layout. They had everything you could imagine, like almost everything you could imagine, you know, marijuana related. And each section had like a counter, because it's a huge store. That one's really big. Each kind of section had a counter and lots of people ready to help you, and everyone there is super chill because they're all stoners, you know, so everyone's really nice. And at the Harborside one, you just show your little card, they let you in, you go through security, and if you're a member there, you get points. So the more you go, the more you buy, the more points you get. and they love giving out free joints
They got
and
rid of that.
all kinds of. They did.
The points.
Ah, that was so
When
great.
it became recreational.
Oh, okay. Damn. Yeah, the points thing was awesome. Well, I don't know. Yeah, because I was still there when it was not recreational. You had to have a prescription. So they probably don't do the points thing anymore because, like, how can you not get weed at a dispensary? It's so much better quality than anything on the street, unless whoever you're buying from on the street is like a master grower, or knows a master grower. I would definitely recommend going to the dispensary, because their quality is really good. Sometimes they get some stuff imported from the area. Like when I went to the dispensary in Oakland, they had some of the weed that's sun grown by those nuns that live there in California, right?
Sisters of the Valley.
Sisters of the Valley, yeah. So, yeah, Texas is gonna wait. I know, we're so conservative here. Yeah, they're called Sisters of the Valley, and it's a group of nuns. Yeah, so nuns, and they grow weed by sunlight, which is pretty hard. Most people choose to use lights to grow their weed, keep it indoors, but they actually grow it out in the sun. No?
It's tougher because of the plague.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard because there's so many pests. Even inside you get pests, but it's still a little easier to control. And then weed needs a specific amount of sunlight, so you really need to be like in tune with just what's going on, sunlight related, like on your day. Like, I don't know, I don't keep track of that stuff, but they do, and it's very good weed. And they have, you go there and they basically give you like a menu and they have all kinds of buds, of bud flavors or types. I don't know what that would be called. Yeah.
Strains?
And strains. Yeah, they have all kinds of strains. And they have maybe like 20 on a the pamphlet they give you, or you can look at they have a little display case of the weeds that they have at the moment, and there's a ton of them. Like, you can't even look at all of them with the prices and what they're called. And you can just go like, oh, I want that one, Banana Kush or something. And I don't remember if they let you smell it, but they do. Yeah, they let you sniff it out, see if you like it. And they don't only have buds, they usually have all sorts of edibles, like gummies. Sometimes for the more like traditional folk, they'll have pills that you can take. So if you don't want to like feel like you're ingesting THC or CBD, they'll have pills. Or like this, like an oil that you put under your tongue, so you don't feel like you're a stoner something. They had chocolate. They also had mints. I bought the chocolate and the mints. The mints are my favorite. I sometimes pop one before getting on a plane so I can like chill out. And yeah. What else was there? They have vapes. Gosh. They usually have the plant itself. They have clones. Oh, yeah, and they'll have the clone and the seed counter. They had it on like the other side of the store, so you could go. Oh yeah, blueberries, chocolate covered blueberries was another one from Kiva, right? Kiva's a good brand. I like their stuff.
The mints too, or Kiva?
The Kiva, yeah, the mints are Kiva. The chocolate was Kiva. They make some good stuff. I got some like blueberry dream chocolate, something like that. It was really good. And I've had edible chocolate before. Sometimes it's not too great. Like one time I had some white chocolate, had weed in it, and I couldn't even taste the weed really. Like, it just, I don't know, it just wasn't very good. Anyways, so they'll have the clone and the seed counter, and you can go and you can pick a clone. And I think a clone doesn't have seeds or won't produce seeds. Is that what a clone is?
It depends if it's female or male.
Okay.
They sell you the female so you can get buds. So
Okay.
it's some call them sin semilla, without seeds.
But the clone is like just a type of
It's
strain,
just a baby
a
plant.
little baby strain weed.
It comes from another plant. It was a cutoff of another plant.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
I see. So it's a clone of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah. Like a sapling. Kind of. Okay. So yeah, so clone is just like the baby plant that they trim off of the mother plant, I guess. So you get a little piece of the plant, and they grow pretty well. My dog ate my last one, so I'm not sure how it would have turned out, but it was growing pretty well. Like by the time he ate it, it was starting to smell, and little flowers are starting to come out, but he decided that he wanted to get high and then fall off the balcony. So he did. And he's lived to tell the tale. But anyways, moving on from dispensaries. Why did that even pop up? I don't remember. Anyways, the marijuana plant. So like if you get a clone or a marijuana plant or you get marijuana seeds, that is not hemp. Hemp is different. It looks more like a tree, I would say. Like a bamboo-ish. It just looks more tree-like. It does grow flowers. They look the same.
Yeah.
Maybe the industrial, like it just looks bigger. Looks more like farm. Like if you see it on a farm, they're just a little taller, and they look more tree-like. They're like thicker trunked. And they still grow flowers, but the flowers that they grow do not have any sort of THC in it, so you wouldn't get high. You would probably feel pretty good because you would still get some CBD from the flower itself, but you wouldn't get high. You would just get the medicinal benefits of the CBD itself, I'm guessing, by smoking it. Just like when you smoke any other herb, you can reap some of the benefits from whatever is in the herb that like helps the body do whatever you need it to do. So the hemp plant is a cousin of the marijuana plant. It's used in CBD extractions. And CBD does not get you high. So like hemp, because it comes from hemp, CBD does not get you high. It is different from THC. THC will get you high. And there's evidence for lots of medical benefits that come from using CBD or ingesting CBD. So the Harvard scientists, I don't know. Anyways, they're like, we don't trust CBD, but they can't deny that it does help in children, especially with epilepsy. The really strong childhood obesity. Childhood obesity. Really strong childhood obesity. No, the very strong childhood epilepsy that don't respond to anti-seizure meds. So they take the medication, it doesn't work, they take CBD, and it works. They don't have the seizures, they don't have them as often, and the FDA actually approved the first ever CBD-based medicine, I think end of last year, and it's called Epidiolex, and it's the first ever FDA-approved CBD drug, and it's used for childhood epilepsy. One is called Dravet syndrome and Lennox, and the other one is called Gastalt syndrome. And these don't respond to anti-seizure meds for whatever reason. I don't even know what they would put in anti-seizure meds. I don't know. I know like a seizure is when, if you've never seen a seizure, they're really scary. It's when basically the nerves in your body just go nuts. And I don't know if they know why this happens. Some people are just prone to them, I think. If you've ever seen a warning for strobe lights where it says like if you are prone to seizures, do not look at the strobe lights, because your brain will just like take in that strobing light and it'll perceive it as a seizure, I guess, and so your body goes crazy, like your nerves just lose control, and they can be very dangerous for the person having the seizure as well as other people, because they start thrashing around. If you try to hold them down, you might get like kicked in the face. So yeah, I don't know what they would put. Some sort of anti-neurotic, I'm guessing, is what they would put. Some sort of chemical or something is what they would put in anti-seizure meds. But these 2 children ones don't respond to that. So CBD actually really helps. And CBD is also used for anxiety. Oh God, I hope they don't still do that. Where they, yeah, I know they did used to, they snip, what's that called? They snip the little tissue that holds your 2 halves of your brain, that connects your 2 halves of your brain. You know what I'm talking about? No. Too much anatomy. Is that what you're talking about, Pearl? Where they go in, I think they might still do it through your nose or your eye, and they just snip. Yeah, the corpus callosum, yeah. They go in and there's a little tissue. You have 2 sides of your brain, right? And there's a little tissue that holds them together and connects them. And that's their way of communicating to each other. So, like, you know how they say, like, if you're left-brained, you're more, like mathematical and sciencey, and if you're right-brained, you're more creative. So, and each side of your brain has certain functions, like, your body functions in different ways. So your brain has 2 different sides that it uses for that, and the corpus callosum connects both sides. And so what they would do for people having seizures, and I think even sometimes for people who had, like, back in the day, for people who had depression and schizophrenia and stuff like that, they would go in, I think it's through your eye, and they snip it. They snip the corpus callosum, and your brains can't talk to each other anymore. So what the person experienced, I can't say that word. Callosum. Did I just say it right? Or callosum. Sounds more like callosum. Callosum? Is there an accent? English doesn't use accents, so I never know where to put the accent in the word. Like, anyways, that thing. The little thing. What was I talking about, damn it?
Brain thing.
Callosum. Yeah. But they cut that thing. Oh, what the person experiences is that they can actually control their bodies separately. So, they can draw at the same time, and like each hand can draw different things because you're thinking of 2 things at the same time. It gets really weird. I've seen where one side of the brain has a different personality. So one side of your body will be really angry and like trying to, attack someone. And then the other side will be like, what the fuck, what's going on? Like, yeah. So, but that's usually if it goes wrong, I think. Yeah, you can have different perspectives. Like they snip you into your 2 halves, and then you're like, you have 2 halves from then on. And it can be weird. I'm sure you can look it up. You can look up people who have their corpus callosum snipped, and like they draw different things, or they can like watch, different movies, and it's weird. Anyways, so they used to do that. They used to cut that for the epilepsy. That's very true. I don't know if they do that anymore. I hope not. That's like doing there's something else that they used to do for depression where they would scrape your frontal lobe. Yeah, that's not great. And sometimes it would usually cause like memory impairments in people. They would just kind of become a person staring through a window. It's very sad. But they didn't know how to deal with mental health issues back in the day at all. They usually did weird experiments with the brain, and it was like, man, like we're never gonna fully understand a brain. Like, come on, don't go there. So they would try to physically like fix the brain, and it's just like, no, it never worked out how they wanted it to. They should have just all been smoking some hemp. Because we're talking about CBD and hemp. Okay, no one got that. It's also used for insomnia. If you can't sleep at night, or if you have a hard time staying asleep, then CBD could help with that. THC might help as well, but I personally have experienced that THC makes me more hyper than it does sleepy. I don't know about, other people. It usually depends on the strain for other people. Like indicas make people very sleepy. Actually makes me kind of hyper, but I think that's just the THC in it. Yeah, Pearl passes out like the very first time smoked. Pearl passed out, and I was like, am I talking out loud? So rude. So rude, Pearl. What was that? Oh yeah, so insomnia. So if you have a hard time sleeping, CBD could help with that. It'll definitely relax you, relax your body, and it might help you just fall asleep faster and stay asleep. If you have restless leg syndrome at night, that is the worst. CBD might help with that. You might have to try it. Note to self. Restless leg is when you feel like your legs want to go for a jog and your brain doesn't. Your brain is like ready for bed, and your legs are just like, they just want to run for 5 miles for some reason. They get like a weird energy boost, and it can be really frustrating if you're trying to sleep. So CBD could help with that, as well as with chronic pain. If you have any sort of joint pain, arthritis, some sort of, what would another chronic pain be besides arthritis? Fibromyalgia, which is where your nerves feel like you're on fire for some reason.
I'm just tired all the time.
Yeah, and you're always tired.
Chronic fatigue.
Yeah, it gives you chronic fatigue, chronic pain. I think in the commercial for fibromyalgia, doesn't a guy like fall off a roof or something? Am I just imagining that? I don't know. Anyways, it's good for arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, or it could be good for gout, maybe. Gout is kind of similar to arthritis, but arthritis is an inflammation of the joints. So if your joints start kind of, having some wear and tear, and there's some more friction than expected, your joints get inflamed, and it can be very painful. So, yes, it does help with gastrointestinal issues. If you have IBS, or if you have any sort of other like stomach inflammation, intestinal inflammation, it can really help just for your body not to do that. Most of the food we eat today causes a lot of inflammation in our bodies from all the like preservatives and antibiotics and oh yeah, it's in my notes. Yes, I'll get there. Yeah, fast food is a big one, which, I know some people who have IBS and they're on the Whataburger diet. I wouldn't say that would be a good idea. I would say that if you have IBS, it is diet-based, and you really need to clean up your diet. It's going to be hard. Like, it's not going to go away easily. I know I had just chronic like digestive issues And the process of going back to eating a healthy diet was hard because your body has to kind of detox from all of that stuff, and it's not pretty. If you've ever done a fast, you go through a detox and you smell, like you really smell. Your body just gets rid of all kinds of crap through your armpits and your feet and your waist, whatever you excrete, and it smells. So the same thing I would say goes through a digestive issue that you're fixing through healthy eating. It's going to be the same way. You're going to feel the consequences of that food way past the point where you started eating healthy. So it takes a while to notice a difference, and you have to go through that kind of detox. But eventually you will feel a lot better. And you do end up with less farts. Yes, very true. I know there are some vegetables that cause gas though. Like I think cauliflower is a big one. For whatever reason, cauliflower just gives you gas. I think cabbage does. A lot of the cruciferous vegetables cause gas. I'm not sure why that is, but I mean they're good for you, so probably just some of the like nutrients in it produce gas when they're being digested. That's what I would guess. So back to CBD. It's good for inhibiting inflammation. So anything inflammation related, digestive, joint, I don't know, some sort of any pain-induced inflammation, or inflammation-induced pain rather. It would be good for all of that, and neuropathic pain. So like fibromyalgia, where the neuropathic meaning pertaining like to nerves. So if you have any sort of pain that's nerve-based, or other disorder like epilepsy or fibromyalgia, this could really help. It can also help with eczema. I know that's more of a skin condition, but usually eczema is caused by a type of inflammation where your skin gets kind of like an allergic reaction in a way, and it peels, and that's where you get the shedding of the skin. But the shedding of the skin, it sounds like I'm talking about a lizard, but which my lizard is there in the back, right there, hanging out. But yeah, it can help with eczema. It also helps eczema in another way, but I will get to that. So hemp, the way you can eat hemp is you can eat hemp seeds. Not only can you take CBD for medicinal benefits, but you can also eat the hemp itself. And usually it's eaten through hemp seeds or hemp hearts. I think hemp hearts are the seed but without the shell, right? Yeah, so it's just the inner like nut. I haven't eaten hemp seeds in a long time. I know the last time they did cause my stomach to be upset, but that was before I started eating really healthy, so.
It tastes like sardines.
Ew!
Like toasted seeds? Sardines.
Ew! Okay. Well, I guess they're more to like be mixed into a smoothie or something. Hemp seeds are actually really good for you on paper. I'll have to try them again because we actually have some hemp here. This is hemp protein powder. Let's see what it's got in it. It's got organic hemp protein powder, organic coconut sugar, and organic vanilla flavor. Wow, it's very clean. It's called Hemp, yeah. I think we got this at Costco, probably, right? No? Sprouts? Okay. Yeah. So hemp has a lot of... It was Tom Thumb. Okay. Well, this was from Tom Thumb. Hemp, yeah. But you can also get like a bag of hemp hearts. You know. Anyways, it's very nutritious. It is 30% fat and 25% protein. So it's very high in fats and proteins. And we need both of those. I know a lot of people think fat is bad for you, but it's actually very good for you. It just depends how you're eating it. Like fat will obviously make you fat if you eat it with a lot of carbs, but if you eat lots of fats and you stay low on your carbs, it is very nutritious for you, and it'll actually help you lose weight. If you've ever heard of the keto diet, the ketogenic diet, that is a diet that is high in fats, high in proteins, and almost nothing on carbs. So what you go into kind of like a detox. It's kind of like a carb fast, which is it's a sugar fast, I guess. And you eat lots of fats, and fats are known to kind of purge your body of anything you have in them being stored away. Like if you want to do some sort of detox, I think there's a detox that you can do, like just taking oil, like you just eat oil or butter and yeah, eat some ghee, a ghee detox. Yeah, oils are just very good for you. Fats are very good for you. Nuts are really good for you. Yeah, you can be tired with keto in the beginning. If you're supposed to do keto for 30 days, and the first week or so will be hard because those are the days that you're getting over your addiction to sugar, for one. We're all addicted to sugar, especially in the US. Everything has sugar in it. It's crazy. So you have to get through that, over that addiction, and that takes itself about, I would say the first 2 weeks are hard with craving sugar. And then your body is also it's detoxing and it's losing a lot of like water weight really fast, as well as burning its own fat. So ketogenic is good if you do it properly. It's not a long-term thing, so don't do keto for forever because it's probably not too healthy. But having a diet high in fats and low in carbs is good for you. Fat is not the enemy. It is sugar and carbs, which carbs is sugar. Or all carbs are sugar in some way. The end material will always be sugar. So yeah, they have lots of protein, lots of fat. So good if you want to add them to a smoothie or something like that. Sure, you could add them with, I don't know, probably put them in anything if you like the flavor. It reduces heart disease. So the fats in it, or the components in it, really help with heart disease. So people think that because if you have heart disease, you need to stay away from salt and fats. It's actually quite the opposite. You should be taking in lots of healthy fats and eating lots of sodium. You need those in your body to help with the heart disease. I think whoever the national food people are that tell you what to eat, for years they've been saying that salt is bad for you, and then recently they were like, oh, we fucked up. So yeah, sodium, yeah, salts are not bad for you. They really help. I can't remember what book it was in. I was reading a book about nutrition, and it was saying that people with there's a certain heart disease where they tell you to stop eating salt, because I know they told that to my dad. They were like, he shouldn't be eating lots of salt, and my dad was always craving salt. Like he would put massive amounts of salt on his stuff, and they were like, no salt. And so my mom would try to take it off of him, and it's actually because he does need salt. Whatever the heart condition was, I can't remember. Salt was actually, like, he should have been ingesting salt for that heart condition. So that's probably why he was craving it so much. Like he would use a lot of salt and a lot of pepper, but I think that's just something else. He just likes spicy stuff. So because hemp has arginine and gamma linolenic acid, it's good for heart disease, and it's also good for PMS and menopause. So if you have premenstrual syndrome or post-menstrual syndrome, which is a thing, unlike your gynecologist would like to tell you, you can get just, the symptoms of PMS, which is like being grouchy and pain, cramps, stuff like that. You just feel like blah. I didn't write down PMS syndromes, but And then menopause, which is like the end. That's when you, rage. Some people get very angry. Some people get very sad. Is there another emotion that you want there? I don't think so. Yeah, and then so that happens every month. Fun stuff. There is birth control that you like. Birth control helped me with PMS, I would say. And if for some reason your state doesn't allow birth control to just be bought, Nurx is a really good website, and it helps you get a prescription. Like, not only get a prescription, it also sends it to you to your mail, and no one knows. It's very discreet packaging. Sometimes I forget what it is. I'm like, did I order something? Oh, it's 420. Well, it's 420 in California. Oh, it's all okay. We got 3 minutes to 420, guys. Let's see. Oh yeah, so menopause. I was talking about Nurx. I'll add the link in to the YouTube channel. I'll put it under the video. If you are interested in Nurx, if you haven't checked it out, I actually have a sticker of them on my laptop. I used to have to go to my gynecologist to get birth control, but she wanted me to go in like, every few months just to get my blood pressure taken, and it would cost me $30. Like, it was like, why? So, after my gynecologist prescribed me something, I knew what I wanted, and I really liked the birth control that I was on. So then I just went to Nurx, and I was like, do you have something like this? Because the one she gave me was really expensive. Yeah, she wanted me to come in every now and then, and I hate going to the doctor. I'm not a fan. Like, I'm not interested. I don't trust them. So, I mean, she was a good gynecologist, though. I'll probably go back to her if I do have something. But, yeah, I just didn't want to go for, like, unless I really have to. So, I didn't like having to just go in to get my blood pressure taken so that, they could give me birth control. So, the Nurx website, they prescribed me something that was very similar. It was a generic version of the one I had. And then, I would just order it online, and they ask you if you have insurance. They bill it to your insurance. If you don't, you don't. They try to find something that's cheap or that's within your budget, and they mail it to your mailbox. Your mailman doesn't even know it. It's delivering birth control. If you're in a, really preservative state, you'd be like, "Ha, mailman, you don't even know it." Hands all over birth control. So it helps with PMS. It also helps with menopause. So menopause is when you are almost done with your reproductive stage of your life. So you go through hot flashes, maybe cold flashes. You stop having your period. Oh, happy 420! Yay! So as a celebration, I will show you my rolls. These are not hemp. They even have a little filter in them. The filters, I think I have some here today. I thought I did. Guess not. Wait, let me grab them. The filters for these, the hemp filters. Yeah. Illegal? Pearl, shut up. Wow, Pearl, so rude. No support. So, you can see, these are the filters I use for my hemp. They are made out of hemp, organic hemp, and they are by Raw, which is also what I use for my herblets. So, I'll show you my papers. So they also have papers. These are the really long ones. But I also have these. These are little organic hemp cigarette papers. They're unbleached. They're really cute. Pretty good. Want a little jointito? And that's actually, we use the hemp filters and papers for our cigarettes. So these are our herbal cigarettes, and they have, the filters are hemp, so it looks like cotton, like the real cigarettes, which, by the way, real cigarettes don't use cotton. They use plastic. It's, what is it called? Like methyl acetate, I think. And they make it look pulpy like paper or like cotton, but it's not. It's actually plastic, and it's polluting our earth and our oceans, and it's just generally bad for everyone. So we try to not do that. We're doing hemp papers and filters. They'll, what's it called? Filter the same way. Like, you won't get anything. You won't be spitting out stuff. And they're all organic. And if you happen to throw one on the ground, which you should still throw away these when you're done. But if you happen to throw one on the ground, nothing will happen. I mean, if a bird were to eat it, he might get some nutrients, I would guess. Because it's just hemp. That would be a pretty good lunch. If it gets in the water, it'll just dissolve, become sediment. Like, it won't do anything, and the herbs in it are all organic and all natural. So if it were to get in the hands of someone or something that is not you, it would be fine. It would just get some time, in its system. Like, nothing's gonna happen. Anyways, now that was the 420 of 420 of 420. So we were talking about menopause. Such fun. I don't know what the symptoms of menopause are. Do you get cramps as well? You also get grouchy? I think you might also get grouchy. It's like going through puberty again, for the second time, but this time you're old.
Your levels are way off.
Yeah, you just get hormonally imbalanced. You do get hot flashes. Yeah, it's just bad. It's not fun. And then you stop having your period, which I guess is the plus side. No.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you don't have your period anymore. You can't reproduce. You can't have kids. So it's just like, you're about to die. Just kidding. You have lots of life after you have menopause. It's good for skin disorders, like I said, like eczema, because it does have such essential fatty acids, like the gamma-linolenic acid and the arginine. It's really good for any sort of skin problem. So if you have like dry skin or eczema, or just not anything else. I know, hemp. It's amazing. You can take some hemp or hemp seed oil or hemp seeds, and it'll help, or CBD. So, talked about protein. It's a huge, if you're trying to be vegan, if you're trying to go vegan or eat vegan, or maybe even vegetarian, or even what's the other, fish something, where you only eat fish as a meat and nothing else. You can also, are you taking pictures of me? Oh, okay. You can use hemp as a good source of protein, sometimes with any sort of vegetarian, vegan, Episcopalian. Is that? No, that's a religion. Right.
Pescatarian.
Pescatarian? Yeah. Okay, pescatarian, not Episcopalian, whatever I said. It's hard to eat good amounts of protein unless you eat like lots of freaking unless you eat a lot of freaking kale, like kale, spinach, hefty vegetable salads or stews, it's going to be really hard to get a good amount of protein in your diet. So hemp seeds would be a good source of that. Hemp seed oil, kind of like olive oil or avocado oil. You have hemp seed oil. It's been used in food and medicine in China for over 3,000 years. So they know what's up. It's Chinese. Although they eat everything, so I don't know. They literally eat anything. They eat chicken of the caves and of the sea and of the land. Like, yeah. It has lots of vitamins and nutrients. Yeah, nothing goes to waste in China. No, they eat everything. We were watching a show. It was like, one of those restaurant shows. It was, what was it called? On the Edge, right?
I don't know what it was.
Over the Edge. I think it was called On the Edge. It's on Netflix, and it was about restaurants that were literally on the edge. Like, it was usually on a coast or off a cliff, or something. They were like overlooking something. They were on an edge, like literally, and they were also on the edge financially. So they were gonna close down, or they're having a lot of financial issues. One of them was like, "Yeah, I've been open for like 6 years and I've never made a profit." And you were like, "What the fuck?" So on one of them, they go to China, to a restaurant in China, and the couple was really cute. We were all like, eh. Oh yeah, Pearl saw that one, right? Pearl was like, no, because like the way the girl was looking at her boyfriend, it was like, oh my gosh, it's making everyone blush. Anyways, they go to the people that help the restaurant. There's like there's so much love. The way she looked at him though, and they were like an old relationship, and she was all googly-eyed. Anyways, the people that help, there's a guy that's like the restaurateur, so he like knows how to manage businesses. There's a guy that's the chef. He gives the restaurants like some new hip plate or dishes to include on their menu. And then there's the decorator, the chick that goes and tries to come up with a design that's like a little more personal. Yeah, we didn't like the girl. She was kind of judgy, but just a new design to the restaurant that makes it more eye appealing, more visually appealing, and just draws in clientele and is also personal to the owner in some way. Anyways, so they go to China, and the decorator goes to a feng shui specialist, which I didn't know those existed. I'm gonna have to look into how I get certified for that. I'm just kidding. But the dude goes like on a trip around Chinatown in China, and he eats some weird stuff. Poor guy. Like, I was like, are they making him eat this? Because one of them was a snake soup, and it was really slimy looking, and it yeah, they had a snake penis wine, and it was supposed to help with your libido, if you dare. Oh, Pearl, I have a lot of words right here that aren't allowed. I'll have to let my moderator deal with that. Oh. Aphrodisiac? Oh, does that mean like it enhances your sexual potency or whatever? Okay. Here. Yeah, I have to like put a lot of words on there that aren't allowed because, people get cray. Okay, yeah, there you go. So yeah, it's supposed to help with that. The snake penis wine. I, I didn't know that snakes were known for their sex life, but okay. And he also ate some snake soup, and it just looked like chicken noodle soup that was really thick, and that's been in the fridge for a while, and it's all slimy and like about to go bad. That's just what it looked like. And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's good," like making faces, and we're like, "No, it's not, dude." He was like, "It tastes like chicken," and I was like, "Oh, it was so gross." Yeah, ugh. And then they go to the market, to other parts. Yeah. And he eats some sort of balls. I forgot what the balls had in them. There were like these balls on a skewer or something.
Maybe like different intestines?
Usually, I know in Japan they eat like chicken heart and chicken liver and stuff on like a skewer. And then he also went to a bakery, and that was the part where they asked the baker like what was in that, and he was like, "I don't know." It's like, what is it? What? Like, you don't know what's in your baked goods? Yeah. Anyways, China stuff, crazy. They eat anything. But they also know a lot about ancient medicine. Like, they still keep it around. Like, they drink a lot of oolong tea. And yeah, he was like, "I just make it. I don't know." He's like, "I just work here." I didn't know what was in it. I recently found out that oolong tea has fluoride in it. Like, it just naturally has fluoride in it. So if you have any sort of like dental issues, or if you just want more fluoride like on your teeth, if your dentist wanted to, some H2 flow from Parks and Rec, that it naturally has fluoride in it. So if your dentist recommended for you to get some sort of fluoride mouthwash or something, you can actually use oolong tea. Very interesting. And it's good for other things. Like, it's good if you have a hard time losing weight and have heart problems and all kinds of stuff. But in China, oolong tea is drinking quite a bit. Did someone cough? I don't think so. I've had a cough. I have a cough. In the morning, I was trying to hack it up. I woke up and I like swallowed it, and then I was like, "Ah, fuck." I didn't swallow it. I breathed it in. It was like a mucus, and then I was like, "Crap, I'm so fucked." That's coronavirus right there. So then when I officially woke up, I tried to like cough it out, and I did. I don't have a cough anymore, but it's like you can't just like cough. You have to be like, because it won't come out. And that's the problem with the coronavirus, is that it's a lower respiratory tract infection. So it sits in the base of your lungs, and you can't just cough it out. Like, usually people are dying because it keeps building up, and then they suffocate to death. Just terrible way to die. Anyways, so I was trying this morning to get it all out. Yeah, trying to get that stuff out. And I've been drinking a lot of tea, using heat packs and stuff like that to keep my lungs clean. It's hard. This stuff likes to deposit, for sure. Anyways, so hemp seed oil, and the seed itself has lots of vitamins and nutrients, like vitamins E, which, what is vitamin E for? I don't even remember. I don't know what vitamin E is good for. E. Oh, vitamin E, yeah. Vitamin E is commonly used for skin, like for beauty treatments. One of my friends used to pop them and like put them on her face. I don't know what that did.
It's all sticky and heavy.
Yeah, it's super sticky. It's like putting castor oil on your face. It's like, but it is just really good for your skin. Phosphorus. Again, I don't know what that does. These are, I mean, we're made of minerals, so I guess you just kind of replenish yourself. Potassium. If you are like usually retain water, it might mean that you have low potassium levels. Sodium is good for you. Magnesium is usually low for people who have hypothyroidism. Magnesium helps you sleep, so makes sense why CBD helps you sleep, and hemp helps you sleep because it has magnesium in it. And if you have a hard time sleeping at night or staying asleep at night, or you have hypothyroidism and you can't sleep, you might need magnesium. Sulfur, so get a little bit of hell in you. Calcium. Oh, we need calcium for bones. Do we need calcium for... I thought that was like a myth or something.
Calcium is for bones, right?
Maybe it's that milk has calcium in it. There it is. Mercury? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about mercury, Pearl. Don't do that. Don't take mercury. That's different than magnesium. Oh, you know, I was thinking the other day, there's a lot of M stuff that makes you sleep. An episode of Criminal Minds where a lady uses marjoram to drug men and kidnap them, and it knocks them out. Like, you can knock someone out with marjoram if you make it strong enough. So it's calcium, iron, and zinc. Another thing, if you have hypothyroidism, you usually need zinc. And zinc is just good for you. If you're trying to like boost your immune system right now for the coronavirus, I would recommend you get some zinc. So the hemp is good for your digestive tract, not only because it's anti-inflammatory, but also because it's super high in fiber. So it's made out of soluble and insoluble fiber. So soluble is the type of fiber that makes like a goop in your stomach, and it's really good for your good bacteria in your stomach. Like in your stomach, you have good and bad bacteria. The bad bacteria is usually the stuff that comes with eating junk food. So you usually get bad bacteria, and they can take over a colony of good bacteria in your stomach. And your good bacteria is the bacteria that helps you digest. Yeah, and then the insoluble is the stuff, the bulk of your fecal matter. So, oh, thank you, Twisted Soul, for the follow. I know. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, but thank you for the follow. I'll just say Troy's friend. Oh yeah. So in your fecal matter to help you poop. Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Okay, well, he said his name. So. Hi, Mike. Thank you. Insoluble fiber, Mike, telling you, is the stuff that you need to help you poop. So if you have a hard time pooping, take some hemp, because you need fiber. You can also have too much fiber. I wouldn't recommend it. If you already eat a lot of like vegetables and fruits, I don't think you need fiber. I think you got it. I think you're good. So how do you use hemp? There are lots of ways in which you can use hemp. You can use hemp to make, and I actually brought some. So you can use hemp to make rope or cord. So this is actually hemp that I bought a long time ago. I keep forgetting I have this. Hemp cord that I bought at Hobby Lobby. And it's 100% natural hemp. And it's just like, a cord. Like if you want to make bracelets or something, or you need some sort of decorative cord, there's hemp. It's also used in textiles. Like, yeah, it's actually really strong rope. Like if you had a choice of like nylon or hemp, I think I would go with the hemp. Just to be safe. It's used in textiles, so you can make like carpet out of it and like tile and stuff. It's also used in clothing. You can make clothes out of hemp, and it's like similar to cotton. clothes-wise. Like you can make clothes with cotton, you can make clothes with hemp. I don't know if it's soft. Is it soft?
It depends. There's cotton, there's canvas. The canvas is kind of coarse.
Oh, okay.
But the cotton is like...
T-shirty.
It has to be not cotton, polyester, I think it is. It's like part polyester, part hemp.
Okay. Yeah. So you can make clothes out of it. And I think they sell hemp fabric like online. And they have some hemp stores online. You can have shoes out of it. You can eat it, obviously. Hemp seed oil, CBD, the hemp hearts. It's used for paper, so kind of like, I mean, obviously regular paper as well. Like, I don't have hemp paper with me, but it would look like paper, just more brown, I'm guessing, unless they bleached it. I pulled one out. But this is hemp rolling paper. So, and it's actually unbleached. It's pretty white. And then I know Raw has their hemp paper. So this is the raw version. I'm not gonna eat this, Pearl. I mean, I could, I guess. I don't think anything would happen. It'd be some fiber. Let's see. You can make bioplastics out of it. I thought this was made out of hemp, but I'm not sure. I might have some in there. But I did think about it. You can make something that's like plastic made out of hemp. So, and it's actually a lot stronger than any other product that you could. Yeah, the bricks. I'll get into that. Lost mine. Yeah, you can make plastic out of it. I know you can make plastic out of corn too. When I went to Hawaii, they had corn cups. Not like the cups of corn that you would eat at a flea market. No, like a cup made out of the ethanol made out of the corn. But they were supposed to be biodegradable, but not necessarily, because they had to be composted in a specific facility. So I was like, I feel like that doesn't count. It's still plastic. But you can find hemp plastic, and it's a lot stronger than anything else on the market, probably. It's used for insulation. It can be used as biofuel. So like I said earlier, you can use it to fuel a jet and even make the jet out of hemp. You can use it to fuel your cars, fuel machinery. You can make cars out of it. So Henry Ford made a car out of it, and it was pretty good. Do you have a picture of that? I don't know. There's like a picture of like Henry Ford's hemp car. I've never seen it. So you can make a house out of it, and there are houses made out of hemp. So one guy,
You've seen a video.
That's it?
No, that's the video.
Oh.
No.
I don't know if it's heavy. Would hemp be heavy? I guess it'd be like plastic where it's not heavy. I don't know. I've never seen Henry Ford's hemp car. But I have seen the jet that a guy makes out of hemp. And it's really cool. It's really sleek and nice. And it's really fast. Like I don't remember how fast it went compared to other jets. But it was actually really fast. So there's a guy, like what's it called? Not an activist, but like people that go around the world just like helping
Peace Corps?
people. Like a Peace Corps person, I guess. Forgot that word. Activist? No, I already said activist. No, it's like a... Bleh. Can't remember. Anyways, there was this guy, and he found that some village somewhere... oh yeah, though is allowed, right? Is that what it's asking for? Though? So he found that this certain village caught on fire frequently. I don't know. And so he found that houses made out of hemp were ironically, because we smoke hemp and weed, is ironically fireproof. So if you build a house out of hemp, hemp, you can't burn it down, and it's very sturdy. Hemp is like the hemp brick or the hemp material is stronger than steel. 5 times stronger than steel. So be very sturdy, very fireproof. It'd be good for the apocalypse. You have all these zombies trying to get in, and you're like, no, because it's hemp. Ha ha ha. You can make nets out of it. You can make oil. So not only like hemp seed oil. Well, I don't know. Maybe it would withstand a meteor shower on it. I don't think so. But one can dream, Harold. You can make oil out of it, so not just like hemp seed oil, like the oil that you eat, but the oil that you would burn, like lamp oil and stuff. In the 1700s, they used it for lamp oil, kind of like how blubber was once used as lamp oil because people had lamps, and that was the thing. You can eat it. It's used in hygiene products. Bamboo is making a comeback in like hygiene products and underwear and stuff because it's super antibacterial. So it's really good for stuff where it's gonna go there down under, go to those places where you can have large amounts of bacteria cultures hanging out, aka your underwear and your hygiene products. It's also used to make bedding. I don't know how comfortable that would be, but you can do it, so why not? And you can smoke it. So you can smoke hemp. I previously thought you couldn't smoke hemp. You only smoked weed. But smoking hemp is becoming a thing, and it does actually do something. So you won't get high, because there's no THC, sorry. But you will get what I would call a body high, where when you smoke the hemp flower, just like hemp, CBD is extracted from hemp, you will extract some form of CBD from the hemp flower when you smoke it. So it's known to relieve inflammation and what was the other one? Oh, inflammation, pain, nerve problems, whatnots, stuff like that. You can also buy CBD oil, so like the one I showed here. There's all sorts of CBD shops everywhere. You can eat the hemp seeds or the hemp hearts, or you can use hemp products. I would recommend using hemp products just because there's so much plastic in the world right now. We need other alternatives, so I'm really glad that bamboo is starting to be used for other things, and hemp, and all that stuff. Because we're just polluting so much. Like, it's just, yeah. I mean, even like, I hate that healthy food comes in plastic, because just being in plastic is damaging us. Like, our food collects the microplastics, or we heat it up in plastic and we get microplastics in it, and then we eat plastic, and that's not good for you. I was watching an interview of a thyroid doctor. Forgot what they're called, but endocrinologist. Yeah. So he was saying they asked him why hyper and hypothyroidism was becoming such a problem as of late, and not, back in the day, like people didn't have hypothyroidism, or they didn't know it, I don't know, but a lot of the issues that are seen today with thyroid were not, like, it's like a new thing. He was saying that's mostly because not only our diet, but because of plastic. Like, there's so much plastic everywhere in everything that the chemicals in plastic are just not good for you. They have a pretty detrimental impact on our system, and we get issues like hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism, from the microplastics in our system and in our food. So that's sad. So I would recommend making a switch. Like for one, if you've never seen beeswax wrapping paper, if you usually use Tupperware or what's that sticky plastic called that you wrap? Saran wrap. Bubble wrap, that too. If you use saran wrap, not foil. Foil is aluminum, so that's fine. But if you use saran wrap or if you use Tupperware, I would highly recommend you switch to glassware and beeswax papers. Beeswax. What are those things called? Beeswax wrapping papers, I guess. And they're like saran wrap, but they're made out of beeswax and they're reusable. So you would have to wash them after you use them, but then you only really have to buy one pack, you know. And beeswax is highly antibacterial, so if you're worried about the beeswax getting dirty or like growing stuff on it, you know, getting moldy or old, that's not going to happen. It's very resistant to bacterial stuff. So yeah, that would be like one way that you could just make a switch and just not have so much plastic. I did try to like completely avoid plastic, you know, at the grocery store, and it's really, really hard. Everything has plastic on it. You would literally have to eat, like, I can't even say just the farmer's market, because even the farmer's market, they use plastic. Like, if you buy like soap and stuff, they usually wrap it in plastic, and you're like, come on, man, like I'm trying to be eco-friendly here. Can you just put a little piece of paper around it and like call it a day? Like, I don't know why you have to wrap stuff in plastic. It's just really annoying. So you would really have to only eat like organic vegetables, not use plastic bags at all. Can't really buy anything packaged because almost everything has plastic in it. It would suck. I know like one chick did it in New York and she was really skinny and I was like, poor thing. Yeah, you would have to grow your own stuff and have your own like chickens and stuff because it's really hard to avoid plastic. But we tried to avoid plastic. So our little boxes are biodegradable, like these cartons. If you are a regular cigarette smoker, when you open the cigarette box, it's usually wrapped in plastic, and then this is usually wrapped in some sort of foil or plastic, the cigarettes themselves. So we try to avoid all that and just do the wax seal. So this will eventually become compost, the wax, as well as the box, as well as not the reusable tea bag, because that's reusable, but the cigarette itself will become one with the earth eventually. And I didn't grab the packaging. The mailer, our mailers, puedes pasar ese, el herblet. Our herblet mailers are also biodegradable. So these are made out of recycled materials. So this company, this one, not us, this one, Eco Enclose. I ordered some bamboo toothbrushes the other day, and they came in an Eco Enclose package. Oh, thank you. So these are made out of recycled newspapers, specifically. So all the newspapers that no one reads that we still get today, they all end up as one of our mailers. So, and they'll eventually biodegrade. What was I on about? So yeah, you can make little changes like that. Little ones, you don't have to go completely, anti-plastic, but you can make some changes. At least with don't heat up your food in plastic containers. Don't store your food in plastic containers. That will make a big difference in your diet. Don't use plastic bags, which I recently started using again, which I need to stop. Stuff like that. Let's see. So, yeah, I do have some. Did you see Troy walking in the background? Bro, you're such a creep. Oh, well, do you see my owls in the back? Owls. Those are actually my mom. She's obsessed with owls for some reason. We do have some friends that use CBD, some family. I know, I like, my whole quarantine outfit has been pajamas. I think that's everyone. Like those memes where you see like what I thought the apocalypse would be like, and it's like some, someone in like some badass outfit, and then you're like, what the apocalypse really is, and it's someone in a robe and some slippers. Yeah. It's been pretty chill. I mean, if this is the apocalypse, it's not too bad. I don't think it is, but oh yeah, we have some family and friends who use CBD. I personally don't use CBD. I probably should. Now I think about it. I always buy everyone else CBD, but I never buy myself CBD. Ken is doing stuff. So I probably should, because it is really good for you. I could even take some hemp protein powder. I do want to try the hemp seeds themselves, though, because last time I ate them, like I said, they made my stomach hurt, so I wonder if they would still have that same effect on me, or not. I don't know. One of my friends uses CBD quite recently. She used to be really against anything hemp or marijuana related, and now she actually takes CBD herself to help with dizziness, right? Headaches? Oh, to help with headaches. No. Oh, okay. Yeah, to help with headaches. So probably because it is anti-inflammatory, it helps with any sort of... No, it was headaches. I thought it was vertigo, but I don't know if CBD helps with nausea. If it doesn't anything with that. I guess it really depends on why your nausea is existing. Why? Nausea, why? It just depends. Usually, like, it depends on the source of your nausea or of your headache or whatever, whether it would work or not. And then I also have a friend who takes it for endometriosis, which is very painful. It helps with the inflammation, but endometriosis is where you grow... The outside of your uterus grows like a webbing, and it's kind of like a cancer-ish cell. So these cells, for whatever reason, decide they want to grow into a web outside of your uterus, and it's very painful, and it can actually spread. So just imagine like a webbing. Your uterus becomes a web, and then that web spreads to other organs, and it starts to fuse all of your organs together, and it's very painful. Usually there's no... I would rather die. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's very painful. The real only solution is to get it operated. They haven't really found why it happens, like what causes it. There's no cure. Yeah, there's no cure. They don't really know why it happens. It's kind of like cancer. Like, it's just like your body mutates in some form, in this particular form where you grow web. And there's no real like cure for it. You can just keep getting operated about every 10 years. Get the webbing removed and then closed back up so that it doesn't spread. But yeah, so CBD would help with that, just because it would help with that inflammation and the pain, to an extent. I don't know if it would help with the nausea or anything like that, but it would definitely help with some of the inflammation. And I think that's all I know. Is there anyone else who uses CBD? No. I forgot to show. I have some other products here that are hemp. This is a hemp wick. So you can burn it. If you smoke stuff, rather than inhaling directly from the lighter, like when you light something, not specifically a joint, but when you light something, I was about to light my joint, but when you light something and you inhale it, if you just breathe in directly from the lighter, you're inhaling all those fumes, and that's not good for you. So it's preferable that you first light the wick and then you use the wick if it'll light, and then you use the wick to light your cigarette or whatever, because then you just get wick smoke or hemp smoke and not lighter fumes. So this is hemp wick. It's probably just covered in beeswax or something. It's probably the cord, and then it's just dipped in beeswax, is what I would guess, because you can burn beeswax or some other kinds of waxes. Who knows it? I think that's all the hemp stuff I have. Yeah, I just forgot that one. Alright, so what do you guys think about hemp or about CBD? Or do you have any experiences with it? Do any of you use CBD? Or don't use CBD? Oh, how nice. Yeah, I learned a lot today. I have to research all this stuff. So just in that process, I read quite an amount of articles, usually scientific studies or, articles that universities put out or medical centers. And yeah, it's very informative. You find out a lot of stuff. So, yeah. I hope you use something with that information and don't just sit on it. Make some changes so that, the world gets better. I don't know. I hope that the hemp starts being a regular crop. That would be nice. I would definitely buy some hemp clothes. There's a few stores now that are I wouldn't say hemp based, but they are sustainable. So they try their best to not pollute. There are lots of stores also that they're also trying to use recycled plastic to make clothes. There's some really nice shoes I've seen. There is mushroom leather as well. There's just lots of clothing products that are coming out. Mushroom leather is a cool one because it looks like leather, but it's different. And you use it to make purses or belts and shoes, I'm guessing. You can do anything out of it. I've seen some really nice cork. It's like a cork fabric made out of cork. And makes really nice purses. I spend a lot of time researching purses made out of other materials. But would you ever smoke hemp as well? I think I would try it. I like smoking stuff, so I would imagine, I don't know what it would taste like. I don't know if it would taste weedy or if it would just taste like something else, like the seeds or something. I don't know what it would taste like, but apparently some states are actually, because CBD is legal, some places are selling hemp cigarettes just like, the gas station. I didn't know that. Yeah, Pearl, you ate that 100-year-old egg. That was gross. I know you like trying random things. I would not eat that thing. That was so gross. Just watching you eat it, I was like, ah. Why? Just why? 100-year-old egg. Ah, no. I know you were like burping it all the way home. I was like, ew. And they eat it in like this weird, what was it, like a slimy soup? Right? Sure.
What?
They eat the 100-year-old egg in like a slimy soup.
Yeah. Slimy soup.
Yeah, they eat this gross, slimy noodle soup, and they put the 100-year-old egg in it, and that's how they eat the whole thing. It's just like why? It's so gross, and having like the egg itself is so gross, and why would you pair that up with a slimy noodle soup? Like, why? Just why? I don't know. Like it's like, China. In China, they eat everything, And who even discovered this? Like, why would you, why would you, just have an egg, right? And then 100 years later, like, someone finds it and is like, oh, I'm gonna eat this because, like, what? I don't know. Ugh, gross. Oh, that was my spot. That was so gross. So yeah, I'm curious to know where they sell hemp cigarettes. I've never looked it up, actually. Do you want to look up hemp cigarettes? Where they sell hemp cigarettes?
Some tobacco stores, maybe.
Yeah? In Texas.
It says in Texas. Dallas, actually. There's two in Texas. There's two here.
Let's try them out. I've never smoked hemp. I didn't know that was a thing. But I guess people, yeah, maybe a CBD shop would have them. I've never actually been to a CBD shop, surprisingly. But usually they have more like tinctures and stuff. More like extractions of CBD than hemp, dried hemp itself. But who knows? I'll have to try it. Because like I said, I like to smoke things, and like sometimes you want to smoke weed, but you don't want to get high. So maybe just smoke up some CBD. And yeah, that was it. That was the whole hemp thing. Let me know if you have any questions or if you have any comments. When was that ever a thing? The hemp thing? The smoking hemp thing? It's pretty recent. It's just now like coming to light that hemp can be smoked and people are doing it. Yeah, exactly. That's why I would smoke it. If I just want to smoke weed but I don't want to get high, I would smoke hemp. What? Why does it just say R? What does that mean? I could even like blend them with the herblet blends, add some hemp, and then there'll be like CBD. I think I would have to have a license for that probably, because we're here in Texas. But maybe on the DL, I could do some. No, I can't do that. I would have that. I'm sure CBD sellers have all kinds of thorough licensing that they need to get through the state to be allowed to sell weed. So not sell weed, to sell CBD. Like, I don't know, this CBD oil that I have. Oh, I didn't see anything that popped up on the mod. Like, did you get something on your mod for a word? Yeah. You have to send it again because we didn't get anything on our end for whatever comment you made. The CBD oil doesn't have any labeling besides the name of the store, but that gives you nothing. There's no like nutritional label. There's no FDA approval or non-approval. Like, I have to have on my stuff that, you know, on my website, that this is not approved by the FDA, so you can't sue me and say that I'm a legal thing, because, you know, this has no information on it. It's pretty shady, so I don't know if they have license for it. I mean, they sell it at a farmer's market, but then again, that farmer's market doesn't really care. They don't really ask you for stuff. There's some farmer's market that are super strict. The one in Dallas, that one, they ask for your licensing, they ask for a bunch of paperwork, and then they give you like a list of stuff you can't and can do, and times you have to be there, and systems of setting up and striking, and I'm just like, it's too much. But the one in Richardson doesn't care, so that's where I get this from. But yeah, if you have any comments or questions, definitely reach out, whether it's CBD or hemp or anything else. We're trying to like start helping people relearn kind of like the lost art of natural healing through nature, through alternative medicine, like herbs, like plants, crystals, you know, energies, frequencies, all that kind of stuff. Because that stuff has been around so much longer than Western medicine, and it is effective. People have just kind of stopped using it. And it's just like, I think people forget that, like, when you take a medication, the natural remedy works in the same way, to where you can't just take it once and everything will be fixed. What? Sure. If you take crystal meth. No. When you take medicine, like let's say you take, what was the one I heard? Adderall. It's pretty common for like ADHD. It takes a while for it to work, first of all, and then you have to take it, you know, once a day or twice a day or whatever your prescription is. It's the same way with natural medicine. You can't just drink one tea one time and then you're just like fixed. Like it just, oh, it worked. No, usually if you're trying to heal yourself through herbs, it's the same way. You have to take that herb or do that cleansing, crystal cleansing or whatever, a few times a day or twice a day or whatever for a long time. So, yeah, I bet. We were saying last time about gold, that gold, yeah. Well, I know, yeah, well, I mean, I wouldn't recommend that you stop taking your medication and, like, switch to natural medicine if you need it. Like, don't do that. But if you can work your way to, like, finding a balance, and then maybe if you want to try, you can transfer over to some sort of natural medicine if it works. Like, you have to know that it works first. So that's, if it's something that's, you know, very life affecting, like ADHD, oh, nice. We were gonna do a smoke sesh, but I think Twitch might kick me out. Yeah, I can't do that. So I'm not even talking about weed, I'm talking about hemp, so. But good for you. We did that before starting the stream. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, with something like ADHD or like the epilepsy thing, where it was like, okay, well, nothing else is working, so they tried CBD. But if you're already on epilepsy medication and you want to switch to CBD, you can't just like stop one medication and just start a new one. Like, you have to work your way there. And what if it doesn't work? Like, yeah, it's a hard transition. But this is more so of like if you're just trying to like learn how to do it, or you know, if the world ever does go to shit, you can be like, oh yeah, that one time I remember that I can actually use gold to, if I wear gold, then it'll help me with my depression. Yeah, instead of having to rely on Xantex. Xantex? Isn't that one of them? A Xantex. Or something like that. Anyways. And, I mean, there's just general natural healing things that you can do on a daily basis that'll just help you feel better in general. It doesn't have to specifically pertain to something that's as severe as ADHD or something like that. It can just be like, well, I'm tired all the time, or some of the time, and maybe you're just you need a little bit of boost, like through your food, so you just learn how to like I don't know, take some herbs that give you okay. Anyways, so yeah, so thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. I'm glad no one went crazy. The last stream we had, people were saying some really ridiculous things, so this one was a lot more chill. Enjoy my 4. That's like my 4. Thank you. You too. Thank you for joining us, and if you do ever try some hemp, let me know. I would love to know what it tastes like or what it feels like. I will, if I ever smoke hemp, I'll have to recap on that, do some sort of recap later on. I will be streaming again on Saturday if you want to watch. Definitely tune in. I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet. It's probably, oh, I do know what I'm going to be doing. It's going to be about silver. So the benefits of nano silver. I did gold last time, and I'm doing a whole series about metals that can be ingested. So metals that you can eat, and they give you medicinal benefits. And follow me on Instagram. That's usually where I'm at, or Twitter. And I'm also on Facebook, and we do have a Facebook page. It's basically like the stream, but in less detail. So if you want just like the blog version, it's on our Facebook group, and it's also on our website. And our website will have these streams. If you missed something or something that you want to go back on and look it up, we'll put the video on my website, and on YouTube, all the links will be on there as well. All the links to the stuff that I showed, and maybe some of like the shows I mentioned on Netflix, stuff like that. And you're welcome, Mike. Thank you for listening. So yeah, keep in touch. Thank you. Bye. Peace.